Does the little girl from Roald Dahl's Matilda grow up to become Carrie? Or how about Pazuzu from The Exorcist? Didn't want Reagan, but was actually trying to find a way to get in the church and destroy it from the inside out. Well, that's what we're going to take a look at today, folks, as we have 5 more horror theories regarding your favourite horror movies. Carrie. As you can see by here, folks, Carrie is Matilda. So this one, in fact, it actually goes on to explain that due to the trauma and her upbringing with Matilda and her family, is that if she used her powers in some other ways, it could lead her down a very dark future. And this is where it comes into its own. And as we got by here, as you can see, Matilda and Miss Honey moved to Chamberlain, Maine. They changed their names to Margaret and Carrietta. This is also when Miss Honey becomes very religious, which in turn makes Matilda, Carrie, hide her abilities. And we have seen that the abilities that Carrie has is very much similar to Matilda. And it's not until years later that her powers come back to her and actually make her more stronger. This is where people are now saying that Matilda is in fact a prequel to Carrie. With the powers that Carrie has and Matilda, we have seen these type of powers between the two of them. If someone is angry or they make Matilda, Carrie, angry, we do see them use their powers, and sometimes it's not always good. We did see Matilda in the earlier film where with her family she messed around and she was throwing things at them. The same thing with Carrie, obviously, when she had the whole vat of pig's blood dropped on her. Well, the school didn't exactly last, did it? But with this one, I do like to think that this could be true, mostly because, well, it's a fun way to intertwine 2 very beloved characters and 2 very beloved franchises together. Get Out. Get Out is one of those movies that has come about in the last decade where so many people love watching it. I'm one of them. I do think it's actually Jordan Peele's best movie to date, but there's some things in this which do kind of make you think, is the whole actual meeting with the parents and the family actually happening? And this is mostly where the theory comes from, and that is the entire events of Get Out are all happening in Rod's mind. This theory, even though how good it could actually be and make the entirety of the film even more complex than it actually is, Jordan Peele has come out himself and stated that this is not a figment of Rod's imagination and it's not in his head. This did actually happen, and Rod was able to find his friend as a way of hope to give people a reason to be like, oh, he got out, there's no more tension, Rod saved his friend. That's what Jordan Peele has come out and said, and that's how he has said that the film should be interpreted. But theories are so much better, don't you agree? Pearl. So this theory actually comes from Reddit and a few other places, where Pearl is actually Maxine's grandmother. Now this theory can take a number of ways, but the one that is more core to the actual series is that in X, we actually see the TV set where the televangelist is always on TV. Maxine, as we find out, that man who is the televangelist is actually her father. But going through it, that man could actually be the son of Pearl and Howard. We do know that X is in the 70s and Howard actually comes home after World War I, so he could have been born in the late 20s, early 30s, which would have put him at the age that he is on the TV. They could have been on it just watching him every day like, there's our son. The reason that this could be their son as well is we have no idea what actually happens between Pearl and X, which is roughly a 55 to 60 year time frame. In that time, we could have seen Howard and Pearl kill a number of other people. Other people could have been turning up. Howard's mother could have turned up. They could have got rid of her, and so many other people who've come onto their land. Maxine's father could have seen all of this, said, I'm getting out of here, I don't want to be a part of this. Then he goes into religion and he becomes the televangelist. I do like this theory, and it's nice to fun way to say, oh, all of these are connected somehow, that Pearl is going through the entirety of the series, but we kind of learn that she wants what Maxine wants. And again, that could be the exact thing. She's like her grandmother more than anyone could actually think. The Exorcist. So with this one, this theory can actually take on a number of different people. And obviously, what we know of Pazuzu is that he just likes to wreak havoc and kill and just make any living soul rot. Any human for that matter. But this theory actually comes about that Pazuzu was actually after Father Karras. At the start, obviously, we do see Merrin that he is over in Iraq, and that's where they find the statue, and he sees the two dogs fighting, and he knows that he is up for a fight because, again, from the Exorcist sequels, and the prequels we should say, he's already fought him once. But with this one, Father Karras is literally losing his faith throughout the entirety of the movie. From when we first meet him, until just before he actually accepts that there is a demon inside Regan, he loses his faith. And you can see that when his mother dies, he's seeing his mother everywhere, he's having the dreams, and obviously when he's lying on his bed and he's drunk and you hear him crying, his friend tries to console him, he doesn't want any of it. But with this one, Pazuzu more than likely sensed it. And this is actually where it takes a bit more of a, oh, we're going to do a military type of operation. And that is that throughout the movie, obviously Father Karras is losing his faith and he is struggling with the death of his mother. He only possessed Regan to draw the attention of Father Karras, his intended victim. And obviously this is where we actually see Regan's mother. She goes, "Are you Father Karras? Can we speak?" Because she, notices him throughout the entirety of the film. But then when he approaches her and she's like, "Oh, Father, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was you." And obviously he goes to the house in one of the best scenes in the entirety of the movie, when he's just there looking at Regan, talking, and obviously going back and forth, and obviously the holy water, which wasn't holy water, and then obviously the pea green soup. As this image by here, which I absolutely love still. It's one of my favorite horror movies ever, and in my eyes, The Exorcist is the greatest horror movie ever made. No one has ever come to replicate it. So with this here, this theory, I would like to see that it could be true, but I would like to swap out Father Karras for Father Merrin. He's already been beaten by Merrin once, he knows he's back in this area, and he wants to get rid of him. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So with this one, as you can see, it is kind of a stretch, but there are a group of people out there in movie land where they actually believe that Leatherface is actually a woman. And with this, Leatherface is the woman of the cannibal household. She behaves like a 70s housewife, dealing with the food, while her husband, Cook, is at work, and her son, the hitchhiker, is out trying to make money with taking photos. And who can forget the lipstick and blusher applied to the mask later on. So for myself, I find this theory funny, but there's literally, as it is only a theory like all of these are, this one doesn't even be like, oh, you know what, it actually has a bit of merit, or it could be true. And that is because, well, Cook even goes, "Look what your brother did to the door," which is one of the best lines in that movie, and it's actually just the way that it was delivered is so funny. "Look what your brother did to the door." And obviously, and you go in, your grandpa upstairs, and to me, this is a bit like apples and oranges. You can't really say that Leatherface is a woman. Now, does he want to be the woman? Possibly, because obviously we do see him in the old lady's mask with the wig on and the apron, but then later on at dinner, wearing a suit. But he's also got the mask on, which does have lipstick and a blusher and makeup on its face. So you can try and go like, oh, he's trying to be this or he's trying to be that. Obviously, this whole thing comes from Ed Gein, where he would put on the mask and he'd put the lipstick and everything on it. We've seen this done many other times in other horror movies, and it's all based around the same thing. But for myself, I don't actually like this theory, but it's very, very interesting.